Hey Finxters, it's Ben, and I'm back today with a new tutorial. Today I'll be showing you my workflow with open source software to produce tutorial videos. So right now I'm recording myself via a webcam using the software OBS. So let me switch over to that real quick. I'll shrink myself down and let's bring back my screen sharing. So the cool thing about OBS is that you can manipulate the arrangement and sizing of all of the visual and audio elements that you put in. It's really designed for streamers, but you can also use it as a really robust recording software, and that's what I do mostly. So right now I'm just finishing up the final edits on two tutorial videos. They're the Hack Park Part 1 and Hack Park Part 2 videos. So I'm going to show you this software and how I actually do this. So, okay, got to go bring that back there. And just a minute. Okay, let's stop that. Okay. Let me drop out of my virtual machine. I do all of my hacking inside of a Parrot OS virtual machine. It's running in GNOME boxes, which is similar to VMware, but it's just a GNOME-specific virtual machine manager. And you can see that I've installed 5 virtual machines. The Parrot Security is the main one I use, but I also toyed around with Ubuntu, Kali Linux, OpenSUSE, and another Ubuntu. So it's a really handy and really simple way to have virtual machines running. And when you're hacking, it makes sense to do this so that it puts you one more degree away from your target. So instead of using my own IP address, I use OpenVPN software inside of a virtual machine. And the file systems are boxed, so not connected to each other, so it reduces risk of my own stuff getting messed up. Let me bring over OBS so you can see what the interface looks like. Here it is, and it's all free open source software. OBS, you set up your source list here. I've got desktop audio, mic audio. You can mute things. So like, for example, if I mute here, but now I've unmuted and I'm back. I can also toggle like screen capture. You can resize the windows very easily. It's really cool. It works actually really well. It's good for what it's made for, streaming, but also recording. So we'll put that out of the way for a minute. We'll minimize our GNOME boxes, and the third piece I want to show you is the video editor. So this is a totally free open source video editor. It's called Kdenlive. And here I have my Hack Park 2 video. I've recorded a quick intro here. And then I've got the long video here of me going through the hack without Metasploit. You can do the basics of editing pretty easily. It's kind of a complicated interface, but it really is robust. It's professional grade. And all you have to do is learn a few simple tools here to edit your sound and your video. And then once you're done, you can go to Project and Render. So I'll show you that right now. This is one of my favorite things about Kdenlive is that you can render multiple videos at one time, or you can set up a whole list of things to render. So if you have a slower machine, you can just set it up to render during the night and then let it roll while you sleep. So I found on my particular machine, the MP4 setting here works pretty well for video. So I'm going to stick with that and hit render to file. And then nothing else has to happen. So it's started to render my Hack Park 2 tutorial. While that renders, let's open the Hack Park 1 tutorial. Yeah, we want to save that. So that'll keep rendering. And now I've dropped into HackPark 1. And I'll delete these 2 clips because that was what I used for HackPark 2. And now we can see here, over here are your clips. You can add a new clip by clicking here. Then you can take your clips and you can drop them into your timeline like that. This window here is to preview your clip, so you can check out what's in the clip. This window is previewing the whole project, so I can scroll through here and you'll see it change. I've used a few other paid professional video editing software like Final Cut Pro that I used like 20 years ago on a Macintosh, and it all was very expensive and sort of worked, but the hardware was so much worse that there were still lots of bugs and glitches, crashing, and very slow rendering times. Today, things have totally changed. So you can use a consumer level, average quality PC running a Linux operating system, and then you can download all of these softwares for free, and you can render things without needing a fancy video card. If you have a fancy video card, it'll be faster, of course, but it's not totally necessary to create tutorial videos. So we're still rendering HackPark 2. I think I'm done with my edits here, so let me just check. I check the ins and outs of the videos always because I usually drop in from another spot before I get the virtual machine set up and the challenge box loaded and everything. So looks like I'm good to go here. So I'm going to hit render on this one as well. And let's see, can it take the job at the same time? It should be able to. What happened there? Render. Here we go. Yeah, it's just in the other tab. So HackPark 1, we're going to use the same codec there for MP4. Let's render it to a file. And now you can see that there are 2 files. One is waiting in a queue, and the other one is already rendered. So the final thing that I'll tell you about is how I share it out. So once I have the completed tutorial video, I'll go over to Google Docs and finish my write-up for the documentation, drop the video file into Google Drive, and then link it to my Google Doc text file. And then I'll share that out with Chris from Finxter so that he can review it and then add on other images and edits to the text. So that's basically my process for creating tutorial videos. And I'm doing it all on Manjaro Linux. Manjaro it's built on Arch Linux, but it's set up to make it easier so that you don't have to manually set up all of the odds and ends that you need to run daily operations. I found Manjaro to be an incredible operating system for me because out of the box, it's easier to install. It uses a Calamares GUI for installation that has basically an auto install mode where you just say how large of the partition you want, and then it does everything for you. With Arch Linux, it's pretty tricky to do just a basic install without messing it up because you need to know about things like swap drive sizes and partitioning your home directory in a different drive from the rest of your installation, and some other details that I don't even really know about yet. But with the Manjaro Calamares GUI, it's really easy to install, and I've actually installed it on lots of different computers just to see if it works. And so far, so good. I haven't had any total meltdowns yet with Manjaro, but I did with other distros like Arch Linux and Back in the day, Ubuntu was very hard to use. It's probably another good Linux for you to try if you're new to it. It's the most common one. But for hacking, I'm using Parrot OS. It works best with my laptop, but another standard in the industry is Kali. And if you've seen the show Mr. Robot, you've seen them use Kali during their hacking. So those are just some of my thoughts on workflow using open source to create tutorial videos that are professional grade and completely free to produce. So I hope that you take from this some inspiration for your own workflow that can help you to create more exciting content faster and make it better looking without paying any money for software. So anyway, that's it for today. Let me know if you have questions or comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.